Hi, it's David Mollet here again with Helen Collier-Cogtevs, and I've been spending some time with Helen discussing property investment, and we've just had a conversation previously about some of the strategies you use to get yourself into a position. We talked a little bit about saving, so saving money to have to invest, and we talked a little bit about negative gearing, what is it, how it works, and we talked about positive gearing and having some sort of balanced portfolio. So these are kind of like basics, and I wondered if you could talk a little bit more about how you see some of the best strategies that people can create some funds for property investment.
Sure. At the end of the day, David, it always comes down to cash flow. Cash flow is king. Without cash flow, you're kind of dead in the water. So it's really important for investors to look at cash flow. And on one of the previous videos, I did talk about looking at things like, taking in a boarder for a little while to increase your cash flow. That they'll help pay the rent or the bills and make a contribution that way. But when it comes to actually investing in property, how do you create positive cash flow, which means a surplus after you've paid all your expenses, you've paid the mortgage, you've paid the rates, you've paid all the bills, and have money left over at the end? That's positive cash flow. So how do we go about doing that? Really simple. There's a couple of strategies I'll talk you through today.
Great.
The first one is look, right now there's a lot of hoo-ha about this resource boom that's going on around Australia, and there are some great little towns around in regional areas of, Queensland, South Australia, WA, practically all around the country, where there is a shortage of housing, which means mining people are having to find accommodation, and therefore, because demand is high, it's increasing rents at the moment. So you can just buy a straight cash flow property where it might cost you, let's say, $400,000 to buy the property, but it could earn you $800–900 a week rent. So
that's having an awareness of where opportunities are in the market to actually get a cash flow property. That's great. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
Tell me some more.
Okay. Well, the second one is, and I've had clients apply this strategy in the past quite successfully. But another way is they went and had a look at major towns, so major regional towns, where there's a high population of students. So there's a university, different colleges, TAFEs, what have you. And then again, there's a shortage of housing. And what he did was he purchased a 4-bedroom home, so it's just a standard residential home. And what he did was he rented out each room to students. So he went down to the local university. He spoke to the accommodation department, the department that looks after housing for students, and actually offered his property for lease, each room for lease.
And by doing that, he was able to create more income than he would just leasing the house out.
Exactly right. So he bought the property for about $365,000, and he rented out each room. He started off at $90 per room. But what had happened, because there was such a shortage, there ended up being a bidding war where the rent ended up being $150 per room.
Wow.
Exactly, but it gets better, David. Then what he did was he went down to the Salvation Army, bought some second-hand furniture, put in a couch, dining table, supplied some beds and desks in the rooms, and also broadband so that they could all do their homework and have it all hooked up. But what do students not like doing?
I didn't like doing work. I just liked having fun. Cooking would be one.
Exactly. Cooking's the number one thing. So what he did was he actually arranged for some vending machines to go in. A soft drink machine and a food machine, which he had, was constantly being replenished on a regular basis. But those vending machines, David, earned him more than the rent of all those rooms. It became an absolute cash cow for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lazy students, ladies and
that's
gentlemen.
right.
That's who you want to be targeting. So I guess what I'm getting from this is that if you've got a clear idea of what you want to do, and that is you want to have a positive cash flow, then you can start to get a little bit creative. You can look for opportunities. There's different parts of Australia because of what's happening in the economy where that might be available. So you need to cast your net broader. Get more information.
Correct.
And secondly, hey, let's be creative and find other ways.
But cash flows don't fall on a silver platter, won't arrive on a silver platter. Here's a great cash flow deal. Yes, you'll get that occasionally, but at the end of the day, you've got to actually think outside the square.
Okay, well, I think that's a really nice note to end on. So let's wind this video up today, and we'll be back tomorrow with a final video.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thanks.